Good morning, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for November 2020. I had recorded this yesterday, but apparently not even the Mac is not whack against the Mercury retrograde because it didn't even, I had no volume on like three videos. So I'm like, oh my God, what happened? So, anyway, this is going to be your November reading. This will be the only readings that I will be doing for the month of November. On the 11th, I go in for oral surgery. Yes, I have my new teeth. So, as you can see, okay, I'm back to looking normal now. So, this is great. And so, what we're going to do, I've already done some shuffling and meditation on your sign. And we're going to be using the Radiant White deck. We'll be clarifying with La Vida Sibila. Hey. And we will wrap it up with a golden Nostradamus. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around. Hopefully it won't, do nothing weird. If it does, I'll come back. Don't worry. So let's go ahead and turn this around and then we'll get started with your reading. I hope everyone is okay. I hope you guys are all having a drink and a smoke and a toke and a little bit of wine over the election results because it's a nail biter. So, but this too shall pass, people. It shall pass. So just kind of hang in there and do some self-care activities and turn the TV off if you need to, right? All right. Here we go. 9 cards down. The 2 of coins. Oh, the Tower. Wow. And the 8 of Pentacles. Well, that is really interesting. Okay, so let me keep going. Here's a King of Cups. Here's an Ace of Swords. Wow. And the Chariot. That's interesting. I know y'all hear me say that a lot, but honestly, the cards tell stories and they speak to me. They speak as soon as I start putting them down. So there you are, the Queen of Pentacles. There is a Page of Swords. Aww. And there's a 3 of Swords. Well, so I have 1, 2, 3 court cards. I could say maybe there are 3 people involved. If that is the case, this would be a younger individual, maybe a teenager or somebody up to their 20s, perhaps, or mid-20s. But for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that pages and knights simply represent news. The knights to me represent events, things happening, but they're happening because some new information has come in. In other words, there may have been a situation who was stalled, but then you get this news. This knight comes rushing in with the news, and that tends to move the situation along. For me, the pages simply represent some kind of news that is either you've heard it or it's on its way. And this, I would think it's on its way. What is underneath the deck? A 2 of Wands. So basically, I think this is a conflict or a choice or an opposition between what it is you really want and what you desire, and starting out, what are you going to do about it? This 2 of Pentacles can represent the idea of working 2 jobs, of trying to balance a lot of things, 2 things at the same, or balance things at the same time. Maybe you got a lot on your plate. And this card says to me that thus far you've been pretty successful at it. However, I do feel that emotionally you are all at sea. And I always get that because of those ships in the background, okay? It is this Tower card that is quite interesting to me, because the Tower card, normally when people see it, they think calamity and disaster. And basically, I don't want people to think that. I want people to just kind of remember that the tower, at its most basic, simply represents unexpected events, things happening, maybe outside of your control. Sometimes it is within our control, but we don't do what we need to do. And what I mean by that is, let's say you know that you need to get your car fixed, right? And you hear that little noise and you're like, oh well, I'm gonna get it done next week. Then you get in your car and it won't start, right? So unexpectedly the car didn't start, but the bottom line is you knew that there was a problem. Okay, so this is that particular example is the idea of having things built up in your mind, right? And then having the rug pulled out from under you. This is not to say that it whatever this means cannot be disastrous or calamity, but generally we're looking at unexpected events with unintended consequences or unexpected consequences here, followed by this Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is the card of the apprentice. It is really also the card about what's that from Dory? Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Okay? So this is about just doing the work. Continue to doing the work that you're doing because you're getting close to perfection on this. But also this card is about making money. You see that guy? He's literally making money. Okay? I don't have any repeater numbers in the actual spread itself. I have a 2, a 3, a 7, and 8, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 7, and 8, and 11, a 12, and a 13. This is a number 16 here. And so there are no repeater numbers here. And again, what stands out to me the most is this Tower card, simply because it's at the top of the spread. Now, I'm not exactly sure if let me tell you what I'm getting. I'm getting that this is both a romantic issue and also a where I am now in life issue. Okay? I don't know another way to describe it. And across this, I'm not exactly sure if this is telling me that this King of Cups has agreed to return or come home or to focus on, I don't know, the thing that he should or needs to be focused on. Because this card is about focus and determination. And it says that no matter what is happening and no matter how much you question yourself about what you're doing or what your beliefs are, where your heart lies, if you simply determine to move forward, to continue on the path or the trek that you're going, eventually you're going to get where you want to arrive to. Does that make any sense? Across this way. I don't know if maybe you were supposed to meet with this person. Y'all were supposed to get together or take a trip or something of that nature. Maybe finances have kept you apart. Maybe somebody worked really hard to do that, but it doesn't pan out the way that it should. But even across this bottom row, we see the Queen is focused on, I don't know, her career, her finances, her stability, her physical security, her mental, emotional, and spiritual security. Because she's really not even paying attention to this Page of Swords. She's squarely focused on her pentacle. We see the page looking back at her. So whatever this news is, it comes, what's the word? It comes, I think you get this message or this news through either email or text message. Usually when I see the Page of Swords, and sometimes when he shows up like this, it tells me that simply because it's an air thing, so that means it's transmitted through the air. This is either going to be spoken, it's going to be a text message, it's going to be a fax, it's going to be an email, may even be a cell phone call, okay? And the news leads to some disappointment, maybe some pain and some heartbreak. I think particularly after we have invested our time and energy and emotions in this to try to stay on the right track, it appears as though this just does not necessarily pan out the way perhaps that we wanted it to. Now, I would be remiss in saying to you that these two cards sometimes can represent an accident. So if you're supposed to travel or meet with someone, there is a possibility of a car accident, and vice versa. If the person is supposed to meet with you, maybe they don't arrive, maybe they are delayed. But if that's the case, it could be because it's an unexpected car accident. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a serious accident, but that, it could be a minor fender bender. So if you are traveling, take every precaution. Don't don't be texting and talking to people. Pay attention on the road, because it may not be you, it could be somebody else. And maybe that's what the news is. Maybe this is what the actual news is that you get the news that the person's not going to be able to make it. Why? Because they had an accident. Okay. Or you get you give them the news, you call them and say, hey, look, I'm not going to be able to make it. Somebody just T-boned me. Okay. I don't feel that this is a very serious accident, but the possibility is there. I think I did a reading once where I was telling somebody about that, and like a couple of days later, they emailed and they go, oh my God, I was sitting in Starbucks and some old lady drove into the Starbucks, So it could be something simple like that. You're sitting down minding your own business and somebody accidentally hits the gas instead of the brake and they plow into a building. So that's a car accident, but it may not necessarily involve you. Where you are, the person who caused it or the person who. So just be careful. I will say that. And then the fact that these coins here are sitting between on the outsides of this tower. This could be some kind of financial thing in which here you are holding everything up. Then the rug's pulled out from under you. And now you got to go back to work. You got to, get down to business. So you got to focus, and we see this that way, but we also see that the juggling, yes, will lead to heartache. So I feel that whatever it is that is desired or wanted, okay, really isn't fitting in with what's happening in your life at this moment. And so that's why I said it's one of those where I am in my life kind of issues right now. That's how it feels, okay? And this could be both romantic and both business-wise. You got a lot of, like I said, somebody's got a lot of things on their plate, okay? Now, let me get to these pentacles. We're going to see, I have 1, 2 major arcana cards. I can't look at the 3, whatchamacallits, so I can only look at 2 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, perhaps the Ace of Swords, and then the 3 of Swords here, all right? I think what I also find interesting is that this sword with the 3 gives me 4 swords. So to me, this tells me, even though 2s are always about choices and decisions, being at a crossroads. And I think there's eventually going to be a reflective time here where the choice is going to be made. And it may be a painful choice, okay? So let me see if I can find what the 2 of Pentacles means here. The 2 of Pentacles next to the Ace of Swords. It is indicating that you need to keep a tight rein on your budget at this time, as overspending on frivolous items will lead to disappointment and misery. Think twice prior to purchasing non-essential items. You are asked to reevaluate any new considerations or plans. It is a message to consider all relevant spending, and do not overspend or be flippant about financial issues at this time. I mean, it's, we see this here. I don't know if perhaps this trip or this deal with this person or this involvement with this person has been causing you to spend money like water. Maybe he's been spending money like water trying to impress you. I don't know. It could go either way. If this is a business deal, before you sign on the dotted line, Consider your budget, what you can and cannot afford to lose. Okay. Now, the Eight of Pentacles with, hold on. I only have 2 other pentacles here. Okay, nothing about the Eight of Pentacles. So let me move to the Swords. You know, and I it may sound like such a Virgo thing to say, but for me, this card always, to me, implies something positive. Because, again, it's sort of like the same message as this. Marry up what you're doing with the way that you feel and stay focused on it, concentrated and focused, and eventually you're going to get where you want to go. It may not come to you. You may have to give up a few things or rearrange some things, or, you know, whatever the case may be, but that's a temporary thing, you know. And so you have to look at the big picture. That's the way I see it. So let me look at these. You know, of course, what works for me may not work for you. And sometimes I understand that the advice that I give you, you know, is easier said than done. I get that. Okay, so we're going to look at this Ace of Swords. It says it indicates financial victory, financial gains, success are yours here. But we see that, again, something goes wrong here. And I think it comes out of the blue. That's the Ace of Swords next to the Two of Pentacles. It indicates that financial gain, success, and victory are yours. This is some kind of contractual issue, is what this is. That's quite interesting. So let me take a look at this Three of Swords. Nothing about the Three of Swords. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I really don't quite know what this financial issue is. I can say that, you know, it is about, most definitely about finances here. And it is about perhaps where we are and where we are trying to go. I don't know if there's a third outside party in this. The reason why I say that is I've got the 3 court cards, I've got the 3 swords, and I have the 3 figures here. Okay? And so, I don't know if this is somebody who came to you and said, hey, look, you know, I got this great deal, but I need somebody to, you know, to come in on it with me, and maybe everything was good at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, you know, sign of the times. Let's see what this Tower card is telling me. The Leggerezza. Wow. The Morte. That's interesting. And the Belvedere. Quite interesting. Let me pull cards on this Page of Swords. What is this message or this news? What it appears to me is that whatever this particular situation is, I think you've come to the recognition that you've been careless in the way you've been going about things. And the Morte card says that that situation, being careless, has come to an end. Remember that the Morte is the death card, and it really speaks to the idea of the cosmic scissors. It comes to cut a situation that will never go back to the way it was before, due to, I don't know, people saying things, doing things, or just the realization that it can't be like it was before. With the Belvedere card is a great card, because what it says is you are looking ahead. You are not only looking, it also says you're waiting on some news or message, some either news or someone, and usually it speaks to the imminent arrival of a person. It says that you are not only looking at something coming towards you, but that while you're waiting for that, you should also be looking within. Okay? So that's a time of reviewing, right? Self review or self, you know, whatever the word is. So let me look at this Page of Swords here. Someone who can't come. The Prigione. The Superbia. And the Doctore. You know, this Doctore has been coming out a lot. And what I get... okay, so the Prigione is the idea of someone who feels chained and bound in whatever circumstances. But it also says that the person, if they really wanted to, can help themselves. They're going to have to figure out how to get out of their situation. There's an open window in which they can climb out of. There's stairs of which they can walk. And there's 3 stairs, so that means there's 3 things that need to be done. The vase here represents all of the emotions and wisdom contained in whatever this situation is. And you're even provided a stair rail to give you support as you move up. What we don't see is the way out, right? We don't see the door. We don't see, the actual way out of this if we take the stairs. Yeah? And so that implies that the person is not in a position, or they're not at least ready to help themselves out of the situation. I do feel that it is based upon a love of luxury, or maybe wanting a champagne lifestyle on a Kool-Aid budget, okay? And that this requires really some kind of specialized help. Now, the Doctore will be just that. It's speaking to me of specialized help. So in other words, this situation... So, as I was saying, in other words, this is a situation in which you may have to be prepared to get specialized help. So, if it's somebody who has a drinking or a drug problem, or maybe that's you, or a spending problem, or debt, credit card problem, you need to go get some help for that. If it's somebody else that you're dealing with that has those issues, you can't help them if they're not willing to help themselves, and they need to go get special help. So this could be about, even though no matter how much you love the person, or how much joy you get out of spending, and it makes you feel good, it's not a healthy thing for you. Okay? Neither of these situations. And so it's basically the realization coming to that, having the rug pulled out from under you. Okay? So with that being said, I want you to formulate a question for the Golden Nostradamus. And we're going to pull one card, and then I'm going to tell you what it says. I'm going to do it one more time. Are you ready? Okay, good. Look at there. Number 14, the treasure. So, the treasure says, often riches go to people who cannot understand its value. It says that this card predicts earnings, treasures, sound investments. Business deals will be favored, or gather the fruits of seeds sown in the past. What I take that to mean is that, maybe things are going well right now, but you don't want to foolishly just place all your eggs in one basket. And even though maybe this business deal, or this, whatever this thing is, might be favored at this time, okay, it would behoove you to gather the fruit of the seeds sown in the past. In other words, again, don't put all your eggs in one basket. All right. So that's what I have for you for November, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hang in there. These are some. I don't even have on the right glasses. Oh well. Anyway, I just realized it. I was like, why is it so dark in here? I got my sunglasses on, and so take the time to do your homework, uh, prepare for the unexpected as best you can, and that's all I can say to you. So until next time, stay safe and namaste.